3, 2, and 1. And we are live. I hope everything is going by एकदम perfectly.
पोस्ट हो गया क्या?
Yes, we are live. Yes, सब जगह पोस्ट हो गया है. आ गया होगा तुम लोग को इंस्टा पे. पर चैट के लिए भी लाइव हो गया है क्या?
We are live.
Yes.
What is up?
What's up guys? देखते हैं क्या है.
Everything is working perfectly fine. Yes. We are live. आ जाओ. चैट खुल गया है हमारा और इंट्रोडक्शन किया जाए. राव तुम दे रहे हो इंट्रोडक्शन?
This is a live stream. We don't have an introduction, but we will give Varun a proper introduction in the actual podcast. But Varun, why don't you just quickly tell us what you do?
Okay, my name is Varun Mayya.
I love the Indian accent. What is up, everybody? My name is Varun Mayya.
So guys, for people who don't know me, my name is Varun, and the first time Okus met me or saw me was on an ad apparently, and he was like, I don't like such people. So I've graduated from somebody who has I still run ads, but in the beginning I started out as a freelancer. I wanted to freelance in college. I did a lot of things in college. I sold t-shirts, I wanted to freelance. And then finally in 2015 or something like that, 2014, I started a company called JobSpire, which is a recruitment platform. In hindsight, I don't know why I started a recruitment platform, but I must have had some good motivation back then. So 2015, we became one of the youngest entrepreneurs in India to have raised money for the platform. And now I was stressed. 2 years, we ran that platform. We scaled to 1,500 recruiters, Uber and Swiggy, many others. 4 million requests. I saw behind the scenes how broken India is when it comes to like jobs. Then I did cool stuff, like I wrote Pajama Profit, I started Avalon Labs, we sold the company JobSpire, and yeah, now I do really funky stuff. So I have been on the internet at a time where nobody was on the internet. So I have hidden secrets that kids of today don't have, and I'm happy to kind of share them if necessary.
What did you do on in internet? Because even then मैं भी बचपन से इंटरनेट पे ही पला बड़ा है, तो मेरे को जानने का तुम क्या करते थे?
Yeah, my internet experience was very different, yaar. Like, I'll give you an example. When I started, we used to use dial-up.
Same.
Have you heard of dial-up?
Wow.
Yes, I know.
No, I've not. But
Focus is young.
There is a wire. Okay, you will have a small pop-up on your screen, and there's a wire connecting the computer to a web, and the line would just start flicking out current, and the very weird sound will come out. Really, something like that. Very
slow. Huh? My download should be like 1.2 kbps and stuff like that.
1.2 kbps. Imagine that, August. KB, not even MB.
Oh boys, no, I know dial-up. I know how it looked like. Oh wow, this is what it was called.
Yeah.
It's called dial-up, yeah.
And I used to download Dragon Ball Z clips.
Oh, ये तो आस मोमेंट है. मैं नारुतो देखता था पर. Yeah.
So like and this was like Dragon Ball GT. I don't know if people remember Dragon
Ball.
Ball.
I loved GT. I don't know why people hated on it.
Yeah, so I used to download Dragon Ball GT clips. Like 3-minute clip used to take me like one entire day. But that's where I started. And then I went from all the way there to start. I got addicted to this game called Dota, right? And most of my friends, the early friends that I made when I was younger, were not from school, but were from Dota. And in the 10th grade, my parents pulled away, all my Ethernet cables, whatever it was that I had, and they said, "You have to get into IITs." So 2 years I missed Dota, but I made a lot of friends. I used a platform called Garena. Today people use it to play this Nakli game called League of Legends. But back then,
shots fired.
Shots fired. But back then I used to use Garena to play Dota, and we used to have these fights. Yeah, today there's no drama on the gaming scene today. I mean, there might be drama, but it's on streaming channels and stuff like that.
It isn't. But if you join, like my flatmate is right now probably playing Dota, right? Like the real drama happens there, man. Nobody streams like that. Like that is where the fun is. You just open the loudspeaker and you start hearing it. None of that happens anymore.
Yeah. So it used to be like this, right? We'd play a game. There'd be 5 random people, 5 people here. We'd lose. I'd always lose the first game. Then I'd be like, I'll bring my clan now. Wait for my clan. And my clan would come 2 hours later and we'd lose again. Then I'd be like, no, this is not my main clan. This is my secondary clan. So then I'd get my main clan, and it'd be a like very tough fight, and we'd lose, and I'd be like, dude, you should join my clan. So that was my era of arena, so to say.
Right.
Oh
Right.
man, yeah. The clans, the clan era, like mera join kar lo. That was a big thing on the internet at one time, that everybody was creating a clan.
I think it's still going to be. I think it's still popular, no?
But I don't know any. Do you know any famous Dota streamers from India?
There's one called Vikram. That's WYKRHM. So he used to be a very famous Dota streamer back then.
Huh.
And I think he still is. I think he's working with Valve now.
Okay.
So very cool guy. And he's now Dota's coming up with an anime 12 years after I started playing it. So very excited for that. And nobody else seems to know what Dota is. So I feel old.
No man, like Dota is very prevalent in colleges still. Like
Yeah.
like,
Not
recently,
not the मेरी उम्र के बच्चे. I rarely
Really?
see anybody. But
See,
now it's like Valorant and all that stuff.
Yeah, Dota मुश्किल है यार.
Dota
It's
मुश्किल
tough.
है. Dota
It
is old.
requires effort. The kids
Yeah,
these
plus
days-
the learning curve is insane, man. My brother plays it all the time, and like it took him what fucking 5-6 years to get.
oh, your brother is a big fan of Dota as well.
वो पूरी रात तक की रात पूरी
one of
इंजीनियरिंग की जिंदगी वहीं पे तो खत्म. सारे इंजीनियर्स यही रहते हैं भाई. सारे इंजीनियर्स का
I-
डोटा और
either
CS:GO.
CS:GO, yeah. CS:GO तो छोड़ भाई. We used to play Counter Strike 1.6.
1.6 कंडीशन 0 उससे भी पहले वाला.
उससे भी पहले वाला, right?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Beautiful game.
Like I hated Condition Zero because my brother played it. I hated CS:GO because he played it. I hated Dota because he played it. Because वो मेरा बड़ा भाई है, वो सब में अच्छा रहता था, तो मैं उसके shadow में आ जाता था.
What kind of issues you're trying to project, Okas? But like, this is not something we should be discussing on a podcast, okay? You keep your family things to yourself.
Fuck you, भैया! You ruined my childhood. No man, he's doing good stuff. I love my big brother.
But yeah, speaking of like now, with the coming up, with the internet being so prevalent in this country now, a lot of streamers have come up in the last two and a half odd years. Before that, even in 2016, Okas, I don't think we had like gaming streamers as much.
2017 में शुरुआत हुई. I think Ajay and a few others started it out. Then
Right.
PUBG Mobile happened, and
that
that just took things to the next level. It's insane.
Yeah.
I was doing some क्या कहते हैं research for just ऐसे ही कर रहा था, and traditional gaming industry से mobile gaming industry is so much bigger. It's insane how much money mobile gaming industry is making.
It's all over the world, or specifically in India, is what you're talking.
In India.
I think in India, yeah.
The reason is simple, right? Because people usually have smartphones and they cannot afford a very good PC, right?
Yeah,
That is all.
the
But
math is
even
something
there-
like 3-4%.
Sorry?
I think it's like 3 or 4% of India has like a desktop or even a laptop.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the stats.
And what's the penetration for smartphones? Do you have any idea?
The rest, 97%. Like it's huge, man. Smartphones are now like I think 250 billion people have like a smartphone capable of playing 3D games.
It's not just FPS games. It's like, for example, even in Minecraft, na, the most of the people who watch Minecraft, for example, Beast Boy Shub or any of these other gamers, Triggered Insan or like who else is there? Mythpat is there when they play Minecraft.
That is there.
When it
Techno
boomed
Gamers
after,
is there.
right? When it boomed after PewDiePie started playing Minecraft. Here in India specifically, people usually play Minecraft on phones, which is so weird because I've always played since 2013. I've always played Minecraft on my laptop or my PC for now. But they all play by phone, and whenever like I have a server invite or something, people will keep requesting me that why don't you make videos on Minecraft mobile or something,
Yeah.
which is very weird to me because I've always played, always been able to
yeah,
play
yeah.
on
Even
the
the biggest gamer in India, well, not subscriber wise but views wise, there's this kid who's I think around my age. He's 21, 22. Techno Gamers जिसका नाम लिया अभी. He's pulling around 7 to 10 million views a day. Yeah. So and he started out with phone gaming. उसका PC पे transition बहुत बाद में हुआ. उसका सब PUBG Mobile, I think even Minecraft was on PC. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But Minecraft is not exactly a game which is like a competitive game, right? It can be competitive. Has its. Do you know what Minecraft is, Varun?
Of
Have you
course,
played-
of course. I mean, don't worry. I know every game out there.
Wait, have you played Minecraft?
Little bit.
Little bit.
Little bit.
Okay. So Minecraft still is not as much of a competitive game. It can be, but the other games like for example PUBG is there, Fortnite is there. What else? Valorant is there. what other competitive games do you guys have heard of which are very famous these days?
अभी Warzone चल रहा है.
Your
Warzone का
free
काफी सीन
games
था.
like Free Fire. I mean,
Free Fire.
Even yeah, in phone पे तो हाँ, Free Fire हो
Yeah.
गया.
Dude, the
छोटे
thing
छोटे
is-
गेम्स है बहुत सारे.
the thing is, no, what I learned, because I used to, I mean, I started shit posting on my main channel. Okay,
Right.
I haven't used the channel in like some 6 months or something.
Us.
So I was playing Overwatch in the game, in the video, and
Yeah.
now that format, whenever a format works, na, somebody or the other will copy it and put it to mobile. And
Yeah.
in India, if you want to be a streamer, like one of the best, there are two things you can do, right? A, you can go on desktop, you can play a game nobody knows about or nobody has access to, and people don't relate. Like with esports, especially, people, or just generally competitive games, people want to feel like they are playing. Right? They want to copy your techniques and do it in real life.
Right.
They want to that high that you get playing the game. Like for example, if I watch a League of Legends video and I'm not very good at League of Legends, I won't understand anything that's going on, and I just like close the video because I don't get it. Like I don't get the complexities, I don't get the interactions because I haven't played the game. But with Dota, because I know like every single interaction, I'll watch like even the most
Tiny
complex of videos. I'll watch it. Right. So it's more about, are enough people playing your game, and secondly, can they play the game? Right? Do they have a device to play the game? That's why mobile gaming is so big. I always found it odd that people would like make streams where they're like playing a mobile game and have connected it to the computer to kind of, beam
Emulate
that.
that. Yes.
Found it very strange.
पर क्या necessarily ये, क्योंकि मैं let's take, do you know who Mythpat is? Yeah, so Mythpat doesn't do that stuff that you talked about. Like, it's not, his videos are not about making the people feel that they are playing the game. It's even for techno gamers, for that matter, it's very different than the traditional streamers.
No, in the case of techno gamers, I'll tell you, even in the both of them have played a lot of Minecraft, right? So in the case of that, whenever I watch their videos, even Beast Worship's videos, one of the first things I notice is like, how is this person building? Because I primarily build really well in Minecraft. So I look at how they are building. If I can pick up a design which they have, if they have some sort of because Minecraft is still in development, even though they have removed a lot of glitches from it. You can take advantage a lot of glitches to make better builds, right? So I noticed that if this is there, I note survival game hai, so I also noticed ki what techniques are this person using to able to survive for a longer duration and get more resources. I noticed that in a game. When it comes to FPS games, even though I haven't played as much FPS, for example, Dota, it's a strategy game. I haven't played Dota. I have played Age of Empires, however. I notice how like the placement of military is there, and it ऐसा होता है कि Age of Empires में तो you have like proper build sequences कि तुम्हें exactly ये build करना है इतने time के अंदर, ये build करना है इतने time के अंदर, otherwise you're losing the game anyway. Like there's no chance. The other team will just come and obliterate your entire group. You can't do anything about it.
Actually, there are two kinds of streamers, and Okus, like actually you're right, and you're right because we think of streamers as one category. But there are two streamers. One is like competitive streamers, people who are good at the game. And then there is another set of streamers that are entertainment streamers. Like Mythpart, in at least in my books, is an entertainment streamer.
Right.
He's funny, right? He creates content that's enjoyable to watch, and even Dream. Like if you've seen Dream's content,
Yeah.
Wow, you just name dropped Dream, who's a Minecraft player, right?
Yeah, of course. So Dream has grown like crazy, but his content can be watched by somebody who doesn't understand Minecraft as well.
Yeah.
Just like the way they put, and Tanmay Bhatt, for example, is a very good example. Dude, I watched this one video of Tanmay Bhatt, like this live video, which was just insane. Like, listen to this, okay? He used to play with some kid. I don't know who the kid is, and he never introduced the kid to the public. So one day, he's like, I'm going to do a face reveal of this kid. Okay, so he starts the video out where the kid is wearing like some goggles and some, mask and some shit like that. And Tanmay Bhatt is like, every time I get like 5 kills or 10 kills or something like that, the kid will remove one item of clothing. And everyone wanted to see who this kid was.
What a fucking amazing idea.
So when Tanmay Bhatt is about to hit the 10th, kill the 10th person, he'll kill himself. He'll be like, no, I won't show you now. So he's just like playing the audience and the numbers are just building. Like if you look at the retention graph, it's just like going up. Now that's not Tanmay Bhatt being good at the game. It's just, him understanding ki dopamine chahiye, logo ko, and dopamine comes from you making a prediction and seeing if that prediction is true or not.
Right.
So essentially he's making people gamble with the kid removing like one part of his clothing. So those kind of entertainment streamers, I believe, is another category, and those guys are like will pull massive numbers. And whatever environment you put them in, right? Like if you ask them to do commentary or reactions or memes or whatever it is, they will do a good job.
Yeah, you have a very good point there. Tanmay Bhatt has been is a very good example of just trial and error. Because when he started, been following him for a very long time, and when I started seeing, initially he wasn't very good at whatever he was doing, but by the end of the year, with his contacts and everything, of course, because he is also Tanmay Bhatt and he has a background in comedy that long, he fixed the stuff very out. I think because अगर तुम joke writing या just writing in general में हो, बाकी सारी चीज़ें काफ़ी आसान हो जाती है, क्योंकि एसेंशियली यूट्यूब ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है, तुमको वीडियो फिगर आउट करने का है कि क्या चलना है क्या नहीं चलना है. एंड बिकॉज यू हैव अ बैकग्राउंड इन जोक राइटिंग विच इज़ लाइक वेयर यू हैव टू पुश आउट लाइक 100 ऑफ जोक्स, एंड उसमें से मे बी 2 या 4 अच्छे जोक निकलेंगे. And you just write stuff down. That is essentially how YouTube works as well, where you keep on trying and you figure out, oh, this one video did well, okay, I can, and then you try that, and then that's how it works. But yeah, getting to the क्या कहते हैं, I have some questions. What is exactly क्या कहते हैं Avalon University? We'll talk about it in the podcast in detail, but I still want to know a tad bit about it.
Sure. So look, right. Think about this. Like whenever we talk about Avalon University, we talk about the problem we're solving, right? So imagine there is a kid from say a tier 2 city, tier 3 city, maybe a tier 1 introvert. He's gone to his college and he doesn't find people who are like him, and that happens often. No? It happens to a lot of people.
Yes.
He's just like, I don't fit in here, right? So Avalon essentially was a place where, hey, if you don't fit into your normal college, you come here, maybe you'll find people like you. Right? And if you find people like you and you have conversation with them over audio or whatever it is, then you start feeling like you fit in. And that is the biggest, like at least with the 16 to 22-year-old age group, the biggest problem is I don't fit in my physical world.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, if you don't fit in your physical world, maybe I can pick you up and make you fit in the digital world. Right? And that was just an experiment. But when we tried it, we scaled so fast that we only didn't believe what was happening. So essentially this is the process, okay? Kid doesn't have any friends, comes on the Avalon University, makes friends, okay, works on projects together, like has fun, plays games, whatever it is.
Right.
Then after they get tight, like these 4-5 people get tight, then those guys say, okay, let's start like learning a skill. That was a natural progression for some reason. Like they play some games and they'll be like, yaar kuch karna hai, like I want to express myself in a visual or digital way, right? So what ended up happening was these people would come, they'd learn a skill together as a team, and then one of them would go get a job, right? And he'd refer the rest of his friends. Now that this guy's gone and got a job or whatever, and his career is like sorted, he'll come back to the community and be like, I want to help the next group of people that was like me.
Right.
So that cycle started working out so well that we were like, holy shit, this is like insane. So all we're doing now is just formalizing something that, in my opinion, we arrived on accidentally, right? And now today, at least the Avalon community is like 47,000 people strong. And it's all real people. It's all real people. It's all real people going through this cycle, somewhere along this cycle.
I think what you have managed to emulate, Varun, is it's basically the essence of university life.
Yeah.
When you go to college, you make a group of friends. I'm talking about the case where people actually feel like they do fit in. You make a close knit group of friends. You'd have fun, do gossip or whatever you guys do during college. But then again, you have these very intellectual discussions which makes you talk about a particular topic, and some of them get very, very keenly interested in that. For example, I'll talk to you about triple IT. Since we have a very, very strong coding culture, I still remember we would be outside in the corridors at 3 o'clock in the night discussing a problem. And there are like multiple people giving ideas of ऐसे solve कर सकते हैं, this can be optimized, that can be optimized, and that basically grows into something different. Like, you know what ICPC is, ACM ICPC? It's basically a international level competition for competitive coding. So I remember in second year onwards, the groups are already formed. The people who would have the most amount of discussions, they will probably form a team and they will be like, हम compete करेंगे जाके in those competitive coding competitions.
Like a hackathon style.
Exactly.
These are my buddies.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
hackathons तो होते ही हैं. This is specifically for like algorithmic coding. Like you will have a problem, you have to optimize it and solve the problem in the limited amount of resources and time given. So like
Yeah.
that.
No, I think for us, in two words, is upward mobility. Yeah, if you don't have the network, you don't have the friends, and to be very frank, it's not about how smart you are. It's about two things, right? To get ahead in the world, it's about a consistency. Whatever you're doing, you need to be consistent, and you learn things along the way. And
Right.
B, network,
Huh.
right? A lot of people have that consistency, but they don't have the network. They're just like, what do I do next? I have no one to guide me. So we said
Yeah.
we'll build a system where, you know, and secondly, it was like we used to be content creators on Instagram. We're not like YouTube content creators. But when we used
Right.
to do that, we used to be like, yeah, how long am I going to create content?
Right.
Right? Am I going to create content this year? Okay, fine. Next year, fine. 10 years later, 15 years later, to leave a legacy, you have to make your audience talk to each other. We recognize that early, and that's why we kind of pulled the trigger on Discord. Like nobody expected anyone to do education on Discord. Today, we are the one of the largest educational servers on Discord in the world, and in India, we know for sure. In the world, you know, there are a few our size. And secondly, we have the highest retention on Discord ever. Like I don't think there is a Discord server in India with higher retention than us.
If you Okas, are you in Avalon? Are you in the server? I can see. I can scroll my mouse right now on the server, and I can go there. I have never ever in my life. I'm part of huge. What do you call it? YouTube streamer servers. Every single time I go to Avalon, like the voice channels are filled with like 50, 60 odd people in different domains. Like, and they talk about like very niche topics from and very variegated topics also. There is something called like coding voice, this is design voice, there's sales voice, finance, marketing, English speaking. It's like art and design. It's
Yeah,
just
culture is different.
culture is very different.
By the way, we're leaving Discord tomorrow. Did you know that?
Tomorrow
Yeah.
tomorrow is it?
Yeah, we built our own app. You know, we started building a Clubhouse style app like 6 months
Yeah,
ago.
I was just
It was
about to
wonderful.
talk about that. Like I was expecting that you would be coming up with something related to
Yeah.
Clubhouse because isn't it? Didn't you find it weird that um, Clubhouse became such a huge sensation,
Massive.
and
Yeah.
it's basically essentially a Discord voice channel, right?
Huh.
I'll tell you something, okay? And this is just my learning.
Hmm.
If you have any sort of friction
Hmm.
between a target user and an app, you will lose that user. Like you lose like 70-80% of your users, right? So Clubhouse removed the friction that Discord has. Like people don't like, especially people who don't understand user experience, they will realize. And I'm a Discord guy. Okay, I love Discord,
Right.
but Discord is complicated for a new user.
Yeah.
It was complicated for me, and I'm native to everything, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no
Yeah.
tech that would scare me.
Right.
So we were like, let's just remove that friction. And Clubhouse did the same thing. Let's just remove that friction. And turns out, if you remove the friction, if you just make the experience simpler, and this
Right.
is something I learned in my entrepreneurial career, right? Let's think about something like Airbnb. You guys have heard of Airbnb, right? The whatever stay thing. There was this podcast they had on Tim Ferriss where the CEO of LinkedIn was talking about Airbnb. He was like, think about this. On Airbnb, what is a 5 out of 10 experience for a customer? Customer comes in, the door is like dirty. He opens the door, house is dirty, cobwebs everywhere. He gets annoyed, there's no food. He's in the middle of nowhere, no electricity, no internet. That's a 5 out of 10 experience. What's that 7 out of 10 experience? He comes, everything is clean, but there's no food. There's no, it's still in the middle of nowhere. What's a 9 out of 10 experience? He comes to the house is entirely clean, there's food on the table, there's a welcome note by, the guy who's running the Airbnb, maybe he's sat and booked like 3 restaurants for the guy and said, here's your experience from 8 a.m. this is the restaurant, 10 p.m. this is the restaurant, etc.
Right.
Now what's 11 on 10 experience? You come to that house, it's beautifully designed for you, your name's up in lights, okay? Then the host has booked a scuba diving for 6 p.m. He's booked a breakfast the next day at 10 a.m. He's given you a full guide, he's given you an audio note, the fridge is full, there's water, there's food, etc.
Right.
What's a 13 on 10 experience? You go there and the president of the United States is there to welcome you. He says, come in, and then etc.
Right.
So this exercise is useful because when you run your head through this exercise,
Huh.
how do I make a 5 out of 10 experience a 10 out of 10 experience The reason you do that exercise is because
you want to remove friction.
Yeah, it's about removing friction, and when you remove friction, your scale gets larger. So instead of having like, 20% of the audience coming in and staying on Discord, now you have 70% of the audience coming and staying on Clubhouse, just with those small minor things.
Right.
So that's why Clubhouse works. It's just purely about thinking about the audience experience. Like, you jump in and you see Elon Musk talking. That's not available on Discord, right?
Right.
So that's what Clubhouse is trying to solve. It's just taking the same experience and washing it.
Yeah. And that exercise can be applied in content creation as well.
How?
Just remove the friction. I don't need to come and be like, हाँ भाई तुम्हें मेटा कॉमेडी समझनी पड़ेगी मेरे इनको देखने के लिए, मेरे वीडियोस को देखने के लिए, or you have to watch my previous videos to understand the references that I'm throwing now. I just want to click. Like, that's one thing that I've realized, that people watch your videos while they're taking a dump. They're taking a shit in the morning. That's तुम्हारी औकात नहीं है. So while they're taking a shit, they don't want to run through their heads and be like, ये कब बोला था, अच्छा इस पे हंसू क्या, oh ये अच्छा है. Just give them the basic experience, give them that quick dopamine, and they'll stay. Make it as simple. That's why the simple videos are on trending, man. That's why, like,
there's a rule, like, treat every video as if it's going out to 100 new people who've never seen your channel.
Yeah.
Like, that's the rule if you want to hit scale. But scale is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. Like, at the end of the day, you have your audience, you want to treat them nicely, you want to have those inside jokes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's also very taxing for smart people to do content that's fucking basic every single episode.
Right.
Those are just people who are obsessed with numbers.
So it's that, right? Like, how much can you dilute your intellectual conversations so that you can appeal to the masses, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you spoon feeding to you can, if you love educating young kids, that's fine, but like, it's not very
exciting.
After a while, not very exciting to you as a teacher, right?
Like, what do they write on your grave? Made simple videos.
Yeah.
You want to be known for something that, or rather, you want to have those inside secrets. So that's the magic of community. Community is built on rituals. It's built on internal secrets, and you can't do that just doing basic fucking content.
Yeah.
But that's what Clubhouse is. Clubhouse is a way for you to also have basic conversations, and if you want, you join a club and you have some more, complex conversations. That was their idea, and that worked out well.
Right. Coming back to the esports topic. Let's actually discuss a bit about that. What, Varun, is your take on like education and introducing esports and gaming as a part of education? Because till now, forget esports. Let's just completely forget esports or gaming for that matter. Games, sports in general, in a country like India, is treated in schools, even in tier 2 and tier 3 towns, as an extracurricular. Okay, it is not academia. It is not a part of the curriculum. It's something extra apart from what is supposed to be taken, quote unquote, seriously in schools, right? So
I think before we talk about education in esports, I want to tell you a little bit about the future of esports. And everyone listening to this is just going to be shocked by this. I don't know if you guys have seen it. May I share my screen?
Sure.
Okay.
Lucas, can you open it up?
Yeah.
I guys see my screen?
Not yet, no. Oh wait, give me a second. Yeah, it's just me. क्या मेरा इंटरनेट चला गया क्या? We just reload it. Come on, Discord, don't do me like that. I'll have to restart Discord, boys. Give me a minute. Let me just restart Discord really quickly. I hope internet's not gone. I hope internet's working. I'll have to yeah. Discord dipped for me for some weird reason. Funny. कहाँ गया जनता, कहाँ गया? उफ इट्स जस्ट नॉट स्टार्टिंग. अभी तो मैं चेकिंग फॉर अपडेट्स ही दिखा रहा है. मैं टास्क मैनेजर से एंड करके वापस एक बार रीस्टार्ट करता हूँ. I don't want updates Discord, please don't do me like this. इतना अच्छा conversation चालू था यार. लो तुम लोग तब तक मेरा अच्छा सा चेहरा देख लो. ये लो. जब तक ये डिस्कॉर्ड का सीन नहीं हो जाता तब तक सोलो कस मोमेंट चालू रहेगा. बट यू आर नॉट स्टेबल ऑन लाइव. इट्स नॉट योर इंटरनेट. नो, इट्स नॉट माई इंटरनेट. फॉर सम वियर्ड रीजन इट्स डिस्कॉर्ड. लेट मी आस्क इफ I don't know. Is it? Let me call Rav up. Yeah. Hello. मेरा Discord checking for update दिखा रहा है constantly. Yeah. हाँ मेरे पास Zoom है. मुझे Zoom की लिंक भेजनी पड़ेगी तुम्हें. न्यूज़ लिंक बनाना पड़ेगा अगर Zoom से करेंगे. तुम मुझे Zoom की अरे Zoom पे 40 मिनट तक चलेगा आराम से. Yeah, just ask him. हाँ तो बस ना फिर शॉर्ट सीन्स. आज तो मेरे को लिंक भेज दो. ठीक है. Apologies for the delay, boys, but we are coming back and harder than ever. It was if it was internet, his stream wouldn't be keep going. Yeah, my stream and अच्छी खासी चल रही है stream तो बढ़िया ही चल रही है. ऐसा कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो रहा है. पर मेरा जस्ट इट्स द इंटरनेट जो है सॉरी इट्स जस्ट डिस्कॉर्ड वो चेकिंग फॉर अपडेट्स ही दिखा रहा है फॉर सम वियर्ड रीज़न. बट दैट्स फाइन. वी आर बैक. We are fixing it. Scene 1, window capture. Oh great. Joining with computer audio.
Yeah.
And let me just open my Zoom account. राव को भी ज्वाइन करा लेते हैं. स्टार्ट वीडियो. Alright, great.
Awesome. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Screen
Screen
I've
share.
sent him a link on Discord.
Right. I'll just get to that once I am done with this. He's in. Okay. And yeah, we are working. This is working perfectly fine. And Rav is also here. Yay!
Streaming?
Yeah, we're still live. We're live. We've been live.
Okay.
Rav, yeah, everything is working perfectly fine.
Of course, we are echoing.
Oh, I'll disconnect from. Wait, how am I echoing?
I think you'll have to disconnect from, or Rav, you'll have to just leave Discord.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah, working
Okay, so
perfectly fine.
Okay, so you can leave Discord as well.
Yeah, मेरा बंद ही है.
नहीं तेरा दिख रहा है जनरल पे. You're on general.
मेरा तो यहाँ से तो बंद है.
Terminate कर दे process.
टास्क मैनेजर से कर दिया. चलो, but we are live. We can work.
I cannot see you. Let me see. Check if you're on the screen.
लाइव स्ट्रीम चेक कर रहा है.
हाँ लाइव स्ट्रीम चेक कर रहा हूँ. तू बस जूम खोल के रखना.
हाँ खोल के रखा हूँ.
Great, cool. We are good.
Yeah.
We are good.
Yeah.
All right. Where was
Okay.
it?
So I'm not sure. Let me just quickly confirm with the chat. How many of you guys saw what Varun showed us immediately.
No, none of us. Nobody. My
Varun,
Discord.
can you go ahead again once? If you don't
Okay.
mind.
Let's hope Zoom doesn't kick us out. Okay, hang on. Share screen.
All right.
दिख रहा है?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a game called Echo VR.
Okay.
Okay. It's like a hockey game, hockey style game where there's a real disc and you use your real hands and body to move around, take the disc, like throw it to pass it to teammates, like punch other people. It's like it's real, like you actually play it. And the thing is, I thought this was a gimmick. Okay. I thought, okay, just give me a second. Let me just stop sharing. I thought this game was a gimmick. Okay.
Yeah.
Focus, you're gone.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
You seem
that's
gone.
fine. I'll just fix the camera. My camera's switched off.
Okay.
No worries. You keep going.
Yeah, Echo VR is essentially this game where you have a disc, you have like 3-4 people in your team, and there's an opponent team, and you basically play where you pass it to your teammates and shoot into a goal. I thought it was a gimmick. I thought this is going to be like, one of those, scammy games where it seems really cool in videos, but it's not really cool in real life. But it turns out it's awesome. I played with my friends. It's crazy exercise. I've become fitter because I play the game, and it's very competitive, dude. Like you can go abuse other people if you want to in real life.
Varun, do you know what Quidditch is?
Yeah, it's exactly like Quidditch without the.
So this is what I was thinking. I was like, what the hell? This seems so much like Quidditch.
And it's played competitively, dude. It's played competitively. Like the video, for example, has 100K views. So the thing is, till now, nobody has owned a VR headset. It's always required cables. I bought my first VR headset 5 years ago. The first person in India to have an HTC Vive. But today, it's become so cheap. Like with the Quest, there are no wires. There's inside-out tracking. You just put it on wherever you have space and you play. And it's one of the most fantastic experiences I've ever had in my life. And the minute I tried it, I was like, nobody in the future is going to sit in front of a computer and click buttons, right? And this is coming from somebody who sat in front of a computer and clicked buttons for a decade. Yeah. So seeing that in action, I can guarantee you, like this, I could sign my name on it, that the future of esports is going to be a very physical, tactile experience. So, yeah, I mean, and this also ties into your point, Focus, about NFTs. Today in VR, when you look at your body and your hands, you actually don't see yourself. You see like whatever the robot that you are or whatever skin you have.
Right.
Yeah.
In the future, somebody will use a 3D modeling program and make a skin for you. So you buy that and you're like, I'm the only one in the world who has this original fire cannon, whatever, some random name. And that is a real use case of NFT. Like art is fine, but it seems a little bit gimmicky. But the minute you say this is a once in a lifetime skin that you can actually wear on and display in front of other people, that just makes the value crazy.
Takes it to the next level, yeah.
Because in the real world, like if I wear, something, if I wear Louis Vuitton or something like that, I look different from other people. Like people can see, like that's the value prop of a Rolex, right? You wear a Rolex, everyone looks at you like, oh, wow, Rolex, right? He seems like a rich person. How do you do that in VR? Yeah. The way to do that in VR is to have a unique asset that's only displayable on you. So the market for VR skins is going to be massive, and the best way to deliver it is NFTs.
NFT appreciating value left, right, and center. That's what the everybody is saying in the future. They're bringing the game section right now. कि ये gaming में बहुत help करने वाला.
But isn't that what the entire financial business model for Fortnite is? Like they make most of their money not through the game itself, but through like microtransactions which people make.
Yeah, but there's a difference here. No, see, in Fortnite you have a skin, thousands of people will have it. With NFTs, an artist can make one specific skin and say only one person is going to have this, right? And then there's a store, there's a community store for it. So this one person tomorrow he wants to sell his skin. He's like, I'm the only person in the world who has this, blue fire skin. Just give you an example. And he puts it on the market. He's like, I'm selling it for $100,000. This was designed by the best 3D artist out there. That's why I think I've grown tired of saying this. 3D art, like especially if you can use Blender and you can you can use Substance Painter, is the most valuable skill for an artist. Absolute most. Because see, with digital art, you can take a screenshot of it, right? And I know NFTs have this thing of true ownership. But it still seems silly that you can take a screenshot. It's like having a fake of Mona Lisa. Exactly the same on your wall.
Yes.
But you cannot do that in VR. So if I take a screenshot of somebody else's whatever set in VR, I cannot have it
replicated.
I can't replicate it unless I model it by myself and make an exact replica, which is very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, and then
because that requires skill.
Yeah, and that's where like these big artists also come in. Like, yeah, I designed this shit. They can be like the क्या कहते हैं, you can do endless stuff. You can even in the game itself, they can be like, you have this own storeroom where you can walk in and you can display all of your skins, and like, this is 100,000, this is 200,000, and now this is going up in value, now it's $1 million, and that in itself is like huge investment, huge assets, where a lot of people are going to look into it.
Here's my assumption. Okay, I feel like, and this is, I read an article about this a long time ago. It seems very valuable. Today, all these games have separate item systems, right? PUBG, you can't take an item from or skin from PUBG and throw it in Fortnite. But in VR, I believe, because the system where you use your body is called inverse kinematics. Okay, where you use your body. The inverse kinematic system, there's one paper on it, and every Unity has implemented the same paper. In Unreal also, I implemented the same paper. So everyone's going to implement the same paper. So basically, what I'm saying is, eventually, all the VR games are going to say, bro, the same skin can be transacted and used between all these different VR games. Whether you're playing like a Dota style game, a CS style game, a sports game, same skin, because it's the same structure of the body that you're basically plugging the skin on. So now it's truly the metaverse.
मतलब तो समझ रहे हो कैसे? Like, imagine you are playing Valorant with that skin, and with the same skin you're in VR, and you're playing in the same skin you're playing Minecraft.
What's that movie? Fuck, जिसकी book पे अभी एक gaming के ऊपर एक movie आई थी ना, कौन सी थी वो?
Ready Player One.
जिसपे Ready Player One, yes. जो it's that shit, like Ready Player One, you have your own skin, and that guy, the blue guy, the main protagonist, he had his own unique skin. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's gonna be like
Tron.
Yeah.
Like Tron.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really cool, dude. That's why I keep telling people, you want to be an artist, sketching is not the right way to go. Photoshop, great, it's a nice skill to have, but extend it, go 3D, because 3D skins are very difficult to replicate. And it's true, like, show off, right?
3D is the, like, हो गया, बस हो गया. बहुत लोग ने पेंटिंग कर ली, बहुत लोग ने स्केचिंग कर ली. There is a lot of that market. There is very less, and I have dabbled in 3D quite a bit. I'm not amazing at it, but I love the software, and I love just sculpting in 3D. And,
okay, check this out. I'm just gonna keep talking. I'll share my screen.
All right. So like, if you that's where the real money is. The amount of क्या कहते हैं opportunities. Yes, I know.
What the fuck?
I'll tell you, search this guy called Beeple Crap. I've been following him for like 4 years now. Just on Instagram, just go for Beeple Crap.
I'm on ArtStation. So
you can search here as well, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Spell it?
Beeple, B-E-E-P-L-E. Beeple _ crap, C-R-A-P. Beeple भी search करेगा तो.
This guy?
So I think so. No, it's not him. It's not. Just go on Instagram now if you can.
I can't use Instagram on the web. It won't allow me to see beyond it. Like, it won't allow me to click into a post.
Just
go ahead.
Google image. Just Google image Beeple Crap, because I want to show you who this dude is. So what this guy does is, right, and he's that dude who has sold the highest NFT at this point. Like, इसका सबसे महंगा NFT बिका है, $700,000, $7,777, something like that. And he creates these models every single year. Seeing he creates those in a single day, every day for the last 13 years. He has done that for every day, and he sold his क्या कहते हैं this one of one, like 5,000 अभी बनाए हैं इसने. 5,000 के 5,000 का इतना बड़ा कैनवस था, ठीक है, और वो हर एक इंडिविजुअल उसने बेचा राव $1 के लिए, ठीक है, $1 के लिए. He's like, he made like 3.55 million in the first week, and then he started selling these extra ones for $1 एक साथ. Everybody bought in at first, and now in total, ठीक है, in total those transactions have been flipped, and अभी last in total those transactions, वो पूरी जितनी भी painting made $700,000 again. $1 से start किया था, and लोग started flipping. तू सोच क्या crazy scene है. $1 से खरीदा, फिर $5 में बेचा, फिर एक बंदे ने 5 से 100 में बेचा, फिर 100 से दूसरे बंदे ने 10,000 में बेचा, 10,000 से 100,000, 100 से 150,000. It's crazy.
मैं ऐसे सोच रहा हूँ, not Varun, I'm just not thinking about the skins. Like, for example, metaverse की जो तुम बात कर रहे थे, I'm also thinking about, like, in terms of objects. Okay, digital objects. Props, exactly.
Like a staff of Horus, like a sword or
Exactly.
something.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Even in fact, like digital spaces. You remember? Do you know these games like Habbo Hotel or Club Penguin or wherever people used to
I know
like
Club
virtual.
Penguin, yeah.
So people used to crash in people's rooms. People should design their rooms in certain way.
Yeah.
Do
Dude,
that
this
as
has
well.
happened before. Like, I'll tell you, you can actually extend this. Have you heard of a game called Second Life?
Yes, I have
It's an
played Second
old,
Life.
multiplayer game.
Yeah.
So Second Life has virtual real estate, you could call it virtual estate millionaires. Because
Yes, we
look,
do.
in a game, you
Huh.
want to buy land because you're like,
Right.
hey guys, come check out my
Space.
place.
Yeah.
Right? And you need artificial constraints. Like I'll give you an example. On Zoom, I can put in any background. I can put this.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's cool. This is Zoom. But you will have games in the future where you can't put any background you want. You want to put this background, invite people to your place and have a conversation with a really cool background. You'll need to pay for it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody recreated the entire taxing process of building a building. Like you need to hire somebody who only few people can be architects on the future metaverse. So that's why I feel like this, like schools and gaming and all, might not make much sense because we live our entire lives in a game. The school will be in the game, right? It's actually the opposite of what you guys are saying, which is esports will be part of education. No. Education will be inside esports, right? And you won't call it esports at that time. You'll just call it life.
Yeah.
Right? You'll have an equivalent of the internet, which is digital at that point, like VR.
Okay, I'm just gonna play the devil's advocate in this scenario. But then, how would you have the actual human life? Of course, I understand that you have a metaverse where a version of you exists. But what about actual human life? How does that balance with this?
I think some people will use it. Like some people will still be human, and some people just abandon it. Dude, I know so many people who are just now like, what is a social media influencer? Like, what does it mean in the real world?
Yeah.
The fuck does it mean in the real world? Like, who cares whether you have like 50k followers, 100k followers, 500k? Who cares?
Yeah.
But we take it seriously now because it's become our reality now.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if something is constantly fed to you and everyone's there, you don't care about the rest.
But what about the basic human needs?
They'll all be available at your doorstep.
The sex part, I saw Elon Musk's interview and he said like the sex part is gonna be 10 times better in virtual than in reality. So
yeah, probably. You can choose what you want. Like
Yeah.
this is literally, it's gonna be paradise.
Okay, but what about food?
You'll still eat. Like, here's the thing, okay? Here's the optimistic scenario. The optimistic scenario, you'll take off your VR headset, have lunch, put it back on. And who's going to prepare the food? How are you going to earn for the food? Here's my belief. My belief is that in the next 10 years, everything is going to be automated. 10 years, not like 1,000 years later or anything. 10 years, everything is going to be automated. You are not going to have jobs. There's this huge video, okay? It's by Disrupt TV about McDonald's. They're like, bro, McDonald's hires now hundreds of thousands of people. They're going to fire all of them and just replace them with consoles and French fry makers. French fry makers, burger makers, whatever, just machines. So you go to a McDonald's, somebody's paid for the real estate. They're just tools. You say, I want this burger. It prints out a burger for you. You eat it, you go home. Now, the question is, if every industry does this, where are the jobs? If there are no jobs, who's making money? Right? If money loses, see, money is a story we all agree on. It's the greatest story ever told. We agree that 10 rupees is worth,
10.
Or a bread is worth like, whatever, a loaf of bread is worth 20 rupees. We agree on it.
Right.
If we do not agree on it, what will happen is the price of bread will plummet.
Plummet down, yes.
Demand supply decides the value of
of the price.
$1 or 1 rupee or whatever.
If there is more demand, the price will increase. If the demand is less, the price will plummet down. Yes.
Exactly. So the question at that point is, if people lose faith in money, if people lose faith that I'm going to get a job, somebody, and I think the world will get together at this point and say, okay, what are human basics? Forget about everything else. Forget about money because money is now fictional. Nobody believes in it. No point even giving UBI, like giving people out handouts money. I was saying this on a live, okay? If you talk about UBI, which is Universal Basic Income in India, the average will be 900 rupees, 9,000 rupees, somewhere between 900 and 9,000 rupees per household. Can you live on like your entire household on 4,500 rupees? 3,000 rupees? No, it's impossible. So people just be like, let's stop talking about this. Let's think about what do humans need. What is the starter kit for a human? Basic shelter, basic clothes, food, water, electricity. Right? And maybe
roti kapda makan, basically.
Roti kapda makan. Okay. So UBI will fail because UBI has many other issues. Okay. One big issue with UBI. I as a party say I'm AJP. I did this on live. People laughed at it. I'm AJP. There's another party called Congress. Okay. AJP will realize I don't need to talk about roads. I don't need to talk about like improving water. I don't need to talk about anything. I can just say the UBI amount for this month is 4,000 rupees. Congress will say, even I don't need to talk about anything else. I don't need to put out any reforms or help the world or whatever. 4,100. They'll basically just start bidding on the UBI amount. When they start bidding on the UBI amount, it will lose all meaning. Money will lose all meaning. They're just basically printing money and throwing it. US did this very recently. That's why Bitcoin just like shot up.
Yeah.
Right. So when one money system fails, you need a system of where we all have that understanding. So it will probably become crypto, and crypto is a very digital system already.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be Bitcoin. I don't know what it will be, but there's going to be some system everyone agrees on, and everyone lose faith in the primary governments. So when that happens, everyone's just going to decide, guys, we need a food printing machine, which is not very hard to build, believe it or not. Something which grows like organic food for you and just pulls it out and like packages it into a bread thing for you. It's not very difficult. Okay, from an engineering problem. Electricity, solar. It's going to be purely solar. Internet is going to be Starlink based. You're not going to have broadband or anything like that. It's going to be Starlink based.
What is Starlink based?
Elon Musk just released Starlink, like which is a bunch of constellation of satellites, which basically beams you internet. Right? It's available in India also, by the way. So basically,
not yet, but they're going to launch by 2022.
Yeah, it's pre-launch. So essentially, you don't need. Now we have this distinction between Wi-Fi and edge.
Right.
If there's something like GPS, if there's something just beaming your internet everywhere, why the hell do you need mobile? Why do you need a mobile supplier? So a lot of things get cut off. Right? Eventually, people will just build those fives, and if you consider internet also a basic, all of it is going to be basically packaged and given to you. So your basics are sorted. All your status games that we play in the real world, like buying a Mercedes or whatever, it's going to happen digitally.
Yeah, that has been my like lookout on the world as well, where it's gonna be like gig type system. जैसे हम लोग gigs पे खेलते हैं ना कि ये gig आया है, वो gig आया है, which is our passion. Everything else is also automated, like how Hollywood operates, where a gig is offered to you, you do the gig, and then you take the money and you do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have permanent jobs also. Like if I'm telling you right now in the world, if you give everyone food, shelter, water, whatever, you will have like the physical progress that happens. Somebody who lays bricks and makes a building, like, why the fuck should I do this? My basics are met. I don't need to ever do this.
Yeah, that's
so
where the
suddenly a lot of physical progress like goes down the drain. It has to be engineering and computer based. Like a robot will need to build it for you, right? So we are not prepared for what's going to happen in the next 10 years. It's going to be very difficult to make money after that, apart from playing status games on skins and stuff like that in the digital world.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Specialization. It will be a lot of specialization where your true, जैसे कुछ लोग का 3D हो जाएगा, like I do इस 3D में भी मेरा ये specialization, and that's where the gig parts comes in, where I got a gig for you, and then these special guys do their thing, and then there will be a lot of specialization. So it's like in an optimistic world, because I'm an optimistic, I suppose मैं सोचूंगा कि everybody is just following their true creative passion.
And by the way, having a community or an audience at that point is going to be very valuable. Do you know why?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because if you're saying that all capital, all money is going to be based on, whatever, crypto or whatever, any stock, whatever like that, rather than, pure cash. If you have an audience of 500,000 people, you can just tell them, guys, the skin I'm putting out, everyone bid for it. And I will share those proceeds with you guys.
Yeah.
So being part of a herd, being part of a group at that point would be very valuable. And we saw this with Wall Street Bets.
Yeah.
The Reddit group, right? They were capable
the GameStop scenario. Oh,
yeah, they made the hedge fund guys lose $1 billion just because they have a massive community.
Yeah.
So
I know somebody who made like 17 lakhs off of it.
Yeah, technically, right?
Lakh.
Technically, like we say that, esports is inside a game. The minute it becomes indistinguishable when you put on your headset and when you stop putting on your headset, we all lead two lives right now. One on the social media world, one in real world.
Yes.
Later, it's going to be one VR world and one real world.
Yeah.
The minute you agree on that, then you realize actually the real world is also an esport. We have score. We have score, right? In the visible world, it's like followers, right? In the real and later on in the VR world, it'll be like there'll be a digital currency. Like Bitcoin is technically a way to keep score.
Yeah.
Now in the real world, you still have a ways to keep score, like cash, right? It's a way to see how much, like you don't have an accurate score. There's no score hanging above a person's head, but it'll be like, oh, iske paas गाड़ी है, इसके पास घर है, he must have a higher score than me. We compare, and it's all of this in our brain. Like need for, like, you could see this in monkeys, right? Monkeys have a need to hoard things. Anything that's shiny, monkeys will hoard it for no reason. They'll just be like, I want more shiny things. It doesn't matter if the shiny things are valuable or not. They just want to collect. That's why when you go to, I'll give you an example. It happens in my brain also. We got a lot of these boxes to give like friends of ours. Like, this is an Avalon thing, right? And the boxes came in a huge truck type thing, and we put in the house, and there's a plastic wrap around it, and I felt good. Right? Because I'm like, so much of this, although it's useless to me, it's just like, wow, so much of this. And it will happen to you as well. When you get an Amazon package and it's like packaged, just like, you get that feeling, no? That I own this sort of thing. And that happens to all human beings. And that's why it's also going to work in the digital world. Even though you might only wear one item at a time, you'll want to hoard as much as possible. That's why people who make money hoard it. That's number one thing in our brain. Second thing in our brain is we always compare rank. We always walk into a room and like, am I the best in this room, or I'm the we position ourselves in the room, like status kind of seeking in our own brain.
It's a hierarchy of some sort.
Yeah, we have that in our brain. Like, it's like a leaderboard. Like, it's in a very cheap way to say it, it's like a leaderboard sort of system. So it goes back to, the old simpler games. Yeah, I mean, that's it. The world and this is not like 100 years away or anything like that. It's like 10 years away. It's probably lesser than that. I'm
still gonna play the devil's advocate and ask you this, Varun. Like, when you spoke about the chain of desires which we keep having, how is VR currently the state of the art? How is it gonna simulate something like, it can simulate what we visualize? Yes. What about touch?
Got haptics. Like, VR already has haptics. Like, you got haptic gloves, for example. When you touch something, it'll give you feedback. You have haptic suits, it'll give you feedback. Right? And the thing is, I'll tell you an experiment, okay? There was this guy who lost his he lost vision, okay? So they put a chip in his tongue, and they're like, whenever you get really close to something, the tongue will vibrate. He couldn't see, so, he used to go around. And now, after some time, the tongue started vibrating whenever he went close to a wall.
Right.
Okay, so he's like, eventually what happened is, he knows now, the minute his tongue starts vibrating, he's like, I'm too close to a wall. And the tongue always vibrates in a slightly different way depending on whether the wall is to the left or in the front or the back or the right or whatever like that. Right? So this guy essentially became in sync with his tongue. He adapted to the fact that he now has a new sense. And the sense helps him make sense of the world. Similarly, the haptics might not replicate our human experience 1:1, but we'll adapt. It happens to anybody who's had a root canal. Right? The first time you remove somebody's tooth and put an artificial tooth, they always feel like something strange is there. After a few weeks, they're just like, I'm used to it.
It's like having a filling. It's like having a filling also.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. When you're very young, when you're an infant, you can actually see your nose. Even right now, you're constantly seeing your nose, but your brain has filtered it out.
Yeah.
It's like, this is useless. It's like when you use like those glasses that flip your...
To it again, and it should work now. It's green. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Chat, is this fine?
I hope.
Not bad, dude. Chat is quite nice. They've stuck around despite the lags.
They have.
Yeah, we're lucky like that. But I think it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Continue.
Okay. So that's cool and all. That's about the future. Let's talk about now. All right. Let's talk about now. When Scout talked about like should education system, should esports should be a subject in education system. मेरा opinion उस पे ये रहा है कि one, it's stupid, and I'll tell you why. ठीक है. अच्छा, मेरा esports भी होना चाहिए.
This is the scenario if you are not taking into account what Varun this mammoth of a horror story which Varun just described. Okay.
Yeah. It's very present. Like if we were to do changes right now, अगर कल परसों कोई bill pass होने वाला था, what can we do? Let's discuss that. Okay. So this is what my opinion on it is. Like अच्छा esports करोगे तो फिर main sports को भी हमको दो ना भाई. हमारा main sport भी है. मैं कितना अच्छा भागता हूँ. अच्छा तुम भागने को दे रहे हो तो देखो मैं कितना सही javelin throw करता हूँ. अच्छा तुम javelin throw को देख रहे हो तो देखो मैं कितना सही bowling करता हूँ. अच्छा तुम CSGO को दे रहे हो तो तुम देखो मैं ये. this is what is gonna go down the route of like constant amount of specialization. इसको भी specialize करो ना, फिर इसको भी specialize करो ना, फिर इसको, and that will cause mass क्या कहते हैं, well, if we actually go down with it, it'll be a lot of money. What I think rather than could be done is, this is what I've experienced. अगर मुझे कोई भी मेरी स्किल में ट्रूली मैं अगर सीखना है, मुझे 3 साल लगेंगे मास्टर करने को, कोई भी स्किल दे दे मुझे, ठीक है, एंड दैट्स नॉर्मल एवरेज किसी भी बंदे को दे दे कि तू 3 साल तक सिर्फ ड्रॉ करेगा, बाय द एंड ऑफ 3 years आफ्टर लर्निंग अडैप्टिंग ही विल बी वेरी गुड एट इट, राइट, एंड देन ही कैन master it more and go further however he wants, right? What I want from education system, if they really want to go down the route of like master ye sab, what they need to introduce is just one thing, which is self discovery, which is जो अभी के education system में बहुत ज़्यादा lacking है. Teach the kid what they want to become, or like, no, not what they want to become, what they would want to be. For the first, I guess, 20 years is हम लोग का वो foundation lay होता है, right? कि हम लोग foundation constantly lay कर रहे हैं, and then that 20 years decides what we are going to be for the rest of our lives. Try and help that it by the end of like 16, 17, maybe 18, the kid knows and he's already doing whatever he needs to do, and he can do that on his own. By the time he's 18, he can do that on his own. What you need to help the kid is to know what you want to do, instead of all this like bullshit of जो अपना traditional education system है.
Yeah, I think traditional education system is like down the drain. I'll tell you why. Things that are complex in nature, cannot be taught.
Yeah.
Like you cannot teach somebody from scratch things that are very complex. Yeah. If you compare two people, right? I keep giving this example of swimming. If I give you books on swimming, if I give you gyan on swimming, and I never let you touch a pool ever in your life, you're never going to be able to swim.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing with CS, right? Like the better, like compare two people. One guy who plays CS every day for 3 years, and one guy who's been given gyan on CS for 3 years.
Right.
The guy who plays CS every day is going to beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because our brain, again, it's a function of adaptation, right? Like I don't think when I'm playing Dota, I don't think before pressing a button. My finger goes there by itself.
Right.
Right. Where I could really use help, and Dota has actually figured this out. They have a coaching system. Once you get to a point, you start making some mistakes, right? It becomes part of your game. Like the mistakes become, like in Rocket League, I do this a lot. Like I make a mistake when I'm going up a wall. You first have to press the X button to jump, and then you have to boost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But I got into this bad habit where I start boosting and then jump. Okay. Just it's a bad habit. So a coach is somebody that can look at you objectively and say, Varun, you're doing these 15 bad habits, and also you can add these 15 things that will be better. Right? And also here are drills you should do every day to help you get better at this because you're weak at this.
Oh,
right? So
wow.
it's more like a personalized, like, where this is found in athletics. If somebody's learning football, what does a football team have? It has a coach. It's a physical therapy guy. The coach's job is to find weaknesses and say, bro, your teamwork sucks because you're doing this, which this guy's incompatible with this. Fix this. Do a drill on this.
Yeah.
It's specialized. What do you call it? Information. Like find the weaknesses, fix the weaknesses, right? So, but you cannot get a coach from day one. The better time to get a coach is after you've done it for like 1 or 2, 3 years.
On your own.
Right? Yeah, on your own.
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean. Yeah.
So I feel like the mentorship / coaching route to getting somebody to be pro is better than, hey, here's how you start. This is what you do when you start. I think that's not going to work. I think you should just leave a kid alone, let the passion, like, take him along CS or whatever it is.
Leave a kid alone. Firstly, leave a kid alone when? At what age?
Dude, I don't think age matters.
Yeah.
I think like 7, 10 is also fine. Because I started Dota very early.
Right, but like at least like primary education is necessary. For example, to be able to learn language for that matter, to be able to communicate with people for that matter, you need to have some form of formal education. You don't agree with that?
I mean, see, it again depends on the topic, right? The more dry a topic, the less likely it is that you need school. What you do need is an alumni network. Like if you're playing alone in isolation in your room, you're going to be a useless person. Like your social skills are going to be poor. Yeah. So what I'd rather do is pick you up and tell you, bro, you're an esports guy. You want to do CS. Let me put you in a room with 1,000 other CS guys.
Yeah.
Okay, you form friends, you form networks, you compete against each other. Like your cohort will teach each other like better, techniques on LAN, and it needs to be a physical thing. It cannot be an online thing.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to take a friend out and like bunk class and go eat some food and come back, right? Or go out partying or whatever. So those things I think are more important. And with language, I mean, we did a long episode on language yesterday. A kid becomes fluent with the language by the age of 3. It is human and innate to be able to pick up a language.
Right.
Like it is biological, not cultural. Right? Now, what you're talking about is written language. Written language and formal education. I feel like that is important, but it's more, again, it's coaching now. Because somebody has already learned some amount of language. Like when a kid goes to school for the first time, it's not like the kid can never form words. The kid will know some amount of language.
Right.
And what the teacher does is, okay, now formalize it. Now let's go through like basics. What is A? You already know how to say A. Here's how you write it.
Right.
So again, it's a mentorship / coaching thing where you've got to a point. Now let me get you to be the best.
And yeah, it's like, it's so cool because then when you put them in a network, you start seeing that every other person will have some sort of their own creative process. When I'm doing YouTube, and because that's how it works, I try to draw parallel to whatever I am doing. So I'm doing YouTube, right? And I talk to my friends. I talk to Surya, I talk to like Rishu, I talk to even like big Ashi Chanchalani and everybody. And I asked them, can I see you doing what you do? Just can I see you and visit? And I start discovering that, everybody has like this different kind of like just to get the shit done. And you can just pick and choose. And it's amazing. It's the best thing.
Yeah. It's more about access, dude. The challenge is not about formal education. It's more about, do I have access to the best mentors? Do I have access to seeing the best in the world behind the scenes? And I feel like now with the entire creator economy and people having their own audiences, that is now possible.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like...
Yeah, and people are very interested in it. Like before the podcast, we talked about the workshop that I did. And in that workshop, I told them, मैं तुम्हें कुछ सिखाने नहीं वाला हूँ. You are coming in my workshop. मेरे workshop में I am going to lay all of my tools down. And now you're going to pick and choose. I'm just going to tell you that this exists. You can do whatever you want to do with it. And these guys were extremely curious. And they started applying it immediately. And they started tweeting at me and everything. And it's crazy. But talking about something like, I need your opinion on this. When I said like help the kid discover themselves or whatever, how do you think that is possible? Do you think that will be more expensive? That'll be cheaper? Maybe we can do this, that. Like that's where I'm thoda sa stuck ho gaya.
Yeah,
like it's so difficult.
In terms like, I'll give you a kid who has a dilemma between, should I become a cricketer? Should I become CSGO expert, or should I become, great at say 3D modeling? I'm just giving you 3 random examples, right? The thing is, even the kid is not equipped to figure out which is the best, right? You don't know what the future of each holds. You don't know which is going to be good. And I know this sounds dumb coming from you, but I think it's a lot to do with luck. Like you just pick one, you commit to it, and hope that industry does well. And whatever you pick up from that industry, you should be able to cross-use it with other industries. I feel like, I mean, you can never tell, dude. You can never tell what does well. And everything has its own peak and then trough.
Yeah. पर वो फिर specialization आ ही जाता है ना हर जगह.
नहीं, but Varun, here is the question on the specialization versus the generalist idea. What do you think is a better option given what guesses you have made for the upcoming decade? What do you think is a better approach towards things, being a generalist or being a specialist? Because you just mentioned that if I choose this particular domain to specialize in, I am hoping on an ounce of luck so that this domain survives. There are, like, for example, there is work there in the domain for the next 10 years. So what do you think would be a better approach?
I think there's this is not a, all or nothing kind of question. Like, I think there's going to be some amount of specialization that you need to do. And there's going to be some amount of generalization. Let me give you an example from Dota. I'm a generalist in the sense I can play any hero. Okay? But with a few, like 2-3 heroes, I'm damn good. Like, those are the heroes I pull out. Like, those are my trump cards, like my main heroes. I only pull them out when I really, really need to. Right? So I think the world is the same, right? Like with English, you need to be a generalist. Right? I think you should be able to, and with, for example, conversing with other people, you need to be a generalist. Right? You need to learn a bunch of different techniques. You can't only be good at like one specific thing. But with, say, And by the way, you might think English is not related to a career, but it obviously is. Like all of us know
of
that
course,
English
communication is the most important part of
Exactly.
it's a lingua franca, right? So like what other language are you expecting to have a conversation with?
Exactly. So the thing is, with specialization, for example, you decide, okay, I'm going to become a YouTuber. Okay. I think you guys know this. I know this too, which is that when you start on YouTube, you can't talk about everything because people will not know what your positioning is. Right? People have to put you in some category. That's the world does that. They put you in a box. Yeah. For example, when I started doing the 3D stuff, people are like, am I an entrepreneur? Is Varun an entrepreneur or is he a VFX guy? Yeah. They couldn't put me in a box. So I unfortunately had to choose, even though I can do both. I had to say, well, I stick to this box because the general public is usually like, I don't know what, because they're busy. Right? So, and plus they don't have the effort to sit and, go through 50 of your videos and say, whoa, who is Rav or who is Ocus? They don't have that energy. So essentially, I had to pick one thing and say, I'm going to go deep dive into this. I'm only going to talk about this. You know me as this kind of guy. But once you start hitting scale and you hit the numbers, then you can start talking about more things. So I think the best approach is specialize first with a little bit of generalism. When you get to a scale, when you get to a point in life, then you can do multiple things. You can look at this in Elon Musk's career. You can look at this in Bill Gates' career. They did one thing for a very long time. Now they're doing multiple things. Once they get to a certain level of scale. Where the scale is where you can say, okay, now I'm done with one thing and I can do multiple things. For each person, that's different.
To specialize first and then dabble with other things.
Yeah.
That's a very good advice for a YouTuber as well. Yeah.
That is what they do actually. Some of the most successful ones do that.
Yeah, that's what they. Now that he mentioned it, abhi mera aisa, I just.
If you look at clicking. That's what I was thinking. He's saying something which I've observed before.
Yeah.
Among YouTubers as well.
Because I can tell you what happens if you don't do that. Because I've tried an experiment on this. Like on my main channel, I started talking about business and I was growing really fast. Then suddenly I stopped and I was like, I'm going to talk about VFX. My audience got really confused.
Me right now.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, what does he do? Like, what's his positioning? What's his one-line pitch? The one-line pitch is not for you. It is for other people.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. On my Instagram, in the past, I used to have like many different stories. One about the app that we built, one about my previous companies, one about my podcast, whatever. Okay. And people used to constantly DM me because I used to run ads. They'd be like, who are you? What do you do? I really like your live session, but I don't know what you do. Then what I did was I have to think of myself like a landing page. I cut out put one highlight called Varun Who. That's it, one highlight. And literally I put my story there because humans think in stories, right? In narratives. Right. So like 7 slides or 8 slides. Like I literally made a deck for new people who visit me. And dude, now people don't ask me that question.
Wow. Huh.
It's like you have to productize yourself, no? Like you have to be easy to consume. You have to be digestible. And the thing is, I don't do easy content. I'm not a Sandeep Maheshwari, right? So I have to constantly reiterate the message again and again and again and again and again. Otherwise, and the same message.
And how do you deal with like people putting you in a box?
You can't do anything about it. You have to get the scale. You have to get the scale.
How do you? So like. Okay. No, you finish, then फिर मैं question पूछूंगा.
When you say you have to get the scale, what do you mean? You mean that you first get your audience and then you offer them what other things you have to offer. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Okay. Dude, that's the top right now. That's the best advice that I've been given. That's the best. Like I've seen that actually play out. Otherwise you confuse your audience, dude. It's like and it's only a scale thing. Like if you want to be small, if you want to be like 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, whatever, you can do multiple things. It's okay. Right? The 10,000 people know about you. But if you want to scale, the positioning has to be superb. And you should be able to describe yourself in 3, 4, 5 words.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now that you've mentioned it, many people are doing exactly the same. And that now once they've gotten that scale, that क्या कहते हैं, diversifying works really well. But before that, it really just fails.
I'm just contemplating this one conversation me and Ocus had a few months ago. Like what if we dabble with the different kinds of videos?
Yeah.
And this is what Ocus is trying to do right now with his videos. Now, Ocus, now that Varun has mentioned this, now what has happened to your next 8-month plan?
No. When he said na, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. So I was trying to dabble into different things, but in that last दिसंबर में जब मैंने लास्ट वीडियो डाली 31 दिसंबर को, तब से I've been trying to do what and वही खींचने वाला हूँ अभी next 1 साल तक, because I feel like that gives me the most leverage in being able to do what I want to do. Essentially, Varun, I want to really go down the route of helping people. क्या कहते हैं, in some sort of schooling ही बोलूँगा मैं, teaching the man to fish instead of giving the man a fish type shit. But let's see where that lands. पर फिलहाल I wanted to ask you about how do I help? Sorry, not how do I help. How do I give that random dude my complex stuff in the simplest form? Like, do I then, if he's not क्या कहते हैं, invested in me, that he'll sit down and listen to my complex shit, do I just lose that leverage where I like, you can't do anything about it?
You'll have to go double layered. Like you have to create what's called as a funnel, right? In the marketing world. So you need to have this big sieve where you get everyone. Okay. Then you'll be like, but only 20% of my audience can understand this. Create a separate channel and say RAV advanced. Literally make it like, if I were to productize myself, and I'm going to get back on YouTube maybe in like a couple of months, right? Personal YouTube. Productize the shit out of myself. Like, I'll just be like, guys, this is Varun beginner. Okay, everyone can come there. Another channel called Varun intermediate. Another channel called Varun advanced. I'm going to literally allow people to go through that entire flow like a game, right? And I actually learned this from VCs, right? Venture capitalists, where whatever the positioning is, you'll have a lot of advanced things to offer. Don't talk about it. Like, if you make your deck with everything that you guys have, that you guys offer, nobody, like the VCs is just gonna be like, this is too much to offer, too much to chew. I don't want to talk about this. First meeting, 5 slides. Second meeting, 30 slides. Third meeting, go in depth, tell your entire life story, saga, where you were born, etc., etc. Right? And that's probably the best way to do it.
Very interesting. Yeah, now that I've talked to so many of you, I don't know, business guys, ठीक है? Why is it that you guys are so fucking smart? Like, know everything. No, let me finish. Like, why are you so smart, huh, Varun? Tell me. No. Why are you guys like, story narratives, and you've experimented so much, and you guys, like, to me sound like this fucking genius dude. But then when it comes down to like content creation, I barely see any business dude who's as big as you on the top.
What are you saying? Have you heard of Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah, okay, Gary V. Okay, one exception. Except him, I have no. And even that dude has like, उसने तो पूरा content का ही किया है. He posts 4 times a day, and his videos are very क्या कहते हैं, not motivation, but value motivation kind of stuff. Except him, किसी और को नहीं देखा हूँ.
No, I'll tell you the challenge, okay? Because this has happened with me before. You create content, you get big, okay? You get to like say a million followers or million subscribers, whatever. Then you say something that you shouldn't have, okay? Not because you don't mean it or it's wrong or whatever, but audience doesn't like it, because audience is not like, sometimes some audiences, especially the random ones, are not the smartest.
You'll be lynched.
Okay, no, I'll tell you, this has happened. They will go to your app store, especially since we're tech entrepreneurs, right? They will go to your app store, they will take your app, and they'll get a 1-star rating. Like, we literally had people give us 1-star rating saying, my co-founder's name is Abhinav. They're like, Abhinav is so thick. Random shit that will not happen to regular businessmen. So the smarter ones know that they need to conceal themselves in the shadows. In fact, I can tell you, this is just from my perspective, right? A lot of people have told me, Varun, it is not wise for you to get bigger beyond your current like size. Because if you do get bigger and you start getting bigger views and you scale beyond this, you are going to suffer heavy damage, because app stores have ratings. Okay. And I've seen this play out like many times.
Yeah. Left, right. Especially in India. Yeah. I've not seen.
It happens outside also. In India, it's obviously a little worse. Yeah. But it happens outside also. And plus, you can't take a stance. You can never take a stance on anything political. So
the Google, Apple, these guys are not helping businesses when all of this shit happens, where like 1 star de diya jata hai.
Only the bigger ones. How much? They don't have. Yeah, to review our app, they took 8 days. Because they're just lazy and they're busy and they're too big. They don't care. There's no competition. Competition breeds performance. The more competitors, the higher the performance of each competitor, because they need to win. They want to win. There's that anxiety of death. But when you get as big as Google, they're like, we are not going to die. Who's going to come on Android? We literally ban other stores on Android from doing the same thing we do.
Yeah, right? Or we buy.
So one way for us to circumvent this, and we've been talking about it, right, internally, because it's not very difficult for us to become massive, right? We know the path essentially. We've been talking about just removing our apps from App Store, Play Store, and just giving the APK directly. You can't do that on Apple, unfortunately. You can do it on the Google App Store, but we'll have to sacrifice the Apple, whatever. You can do it on the Google Play Store. You can't do that on the Apple App Store. But there is this other crowd, which is the content creators who are now becoming entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right? And those guys essentially do not give a shit. They're like, even if I have a 2-star rating, because they are so massive, they can cover it up. They can easily tell, the regular audience go give ratings, or they know what their audience likes, and they will never veer away from it. They know their product. Like the first time, one of the first times, I think 4 or 5 years ago, I watched Tanmay Bhatt talk in an interview. He was just like, yeah, my audience, I know the product my audience wants. And I was like, fuck, these guys are thinking about their channel as a product. Right? And the minute we started thinking along, I mean, now we have another channel called Avalon Meta Live, right? We've scaled it from 0 to 20K in like 1.5 months or 2 months or something like that. Because we're treating it like a product. Monday something, Tuesday something, Wednesday. Audience will never be surprised. Right? Although we do surprises inside the content, but the format is the same. It's become like a nightly TV show sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's like new age television.
Yeah, it's new age television.
That is very क्या कहते हैं ये जो scheduling का scene है ना ये works very well. जब I remember
no matter what.
Yeah. I remember I watched getting introduced to this dude called K-Shirt. I don't watch him anymore. Okay, he's an art channel. Now he doesn't even upload on YouTube. That's a different thing. But there was a time where he was uploading every single day during the October of 2018. He uploaded 30 videos and then he kept on going for a very long time. Every day at that period of time, right? 8 p.m. 2 p.m. he used to upload. And I never watched any art channel as dedicatedly that I watched K-Shirt. And that's when I realized, अभी recently, when I was thinking back at just, मैं ऐसा सोचता हूँ कि कौन से channel को मैं देखता था, क्या करते थे वो लोग. तो that's when I realized, oh, the scheduling things works really well because पता नहीं इंसान लोग ऐसा अभी ये होने ही वाला है.
What do you think happens actually, Varun, psychologically speaking?
Yeah, people, we have this thing internally, right? If I can get you to eat lunch, if I can get you to eat lunch or eat dinner with my show, my goal is done.
Yeah.
It's like it needs to, that Pavlovian conditioning needs to happen. Like, you remember the experiment where he did it with the dogs? He used to ring a bell and give it food.
After a while,
he removed the food. It starts salivating only when he rings the bell. So that needs to happen. Although, we don't think about it that mechanically. At the end of the day, we want to also be a good show, right? We want to be produced. Well produced, etc., etc. We invested a lot, dude. We use something called virtual production on our shows, which is like the background is literally, it's not a green, like right now I'm using green screen, but the virtual production is literally, it's an LED screen. It's a large LED screen. It's like what the Mandalorian did. It also keeps us more disciplined.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ninja did it, but the Mandalorian show did it. So it's essentially like more than anything, it also gives us discipline. Like
how much do you invest?
About 12, 13 lakhs, something like that. Wow. We have a main screen and a side screen. It's to keep us disciplined, dude. Like I'm telling you, like people, when people hear like 10, 12, whatever, 15 lakhs, they're like, oh, you're spending so much on content. I'd rather use a green screen, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like 10, when you hit the scale, right?
Yeah.
10, 12, 15 lakhs doesn't matter so much. Yeah. It's a quality, like you want, especially in a world where everyone's producing content, you need to productize yourself. Give the audience a clear path who you are, like 3 lines, 4 lines, and also keep production values good and high. Because the time where you could do low production videos is actually gone. Right? Now people are becoming a little more concerned because a lot of people producing the same kind of content. Right? So now any edge that you can have, you need to deploy it. At least that's how we think.
Yeah. No, I know. Agree. When you said that any edge you have, just deploy it. That's what I think about, like just in ideas as well. I talk to these guys and they're like, oh, I have this great story, I have this great bit, I have this great thing. I'm not gonna show them just now. And I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. And I tell them just go for it right now. And they're like, I won't have anything after that. I'm like, but that's not how human brain works. The moment you need it, that's when human brain will come up with another idea. So yeah, we're on a correct path there.
Yeah, and going viral on YouTube or Instagram is useless now. Unless you have that loyalty, Like you want that consistent, loyal audience always following you. If you don't have that, you're screwed, man.
You're just a one-hit wonder then.
Yeah. Like again, another prediction. 1 or 2 years later, if you jump on YouTube, you'll barely get any views. I remember this one video of Shweta. He said that the first video he put up on YouTube, or one of the first few, he got 300K views.
Yeah.
It sounds insane to us.
Yeah.
But 2 years later, if you want to put up a video, there's going to be so many top influencers all like competing to keep their spot.
Like a motherfucker.
Right? So it's going to be very competitive. If you can't make a product, you're screwed. But the market size is big, man. The market size is big. That's the advantage.
Yeah. Like you might not get millions of views, but you'll be making good amount of money even with that 100K views. That's what I've realized. So that's good. And like there's a lot of I feel like every other 1 or 2 years there's this one young creator comes because of the competition is so much and he fucking blows everybody out of the water.
And everyone thinks they can do it.
Yeah, and then they come, and then because everybody thinks they can do it, there is one motherfucker in these hundreds and thousands of people that actually does it, and he blows that motherfucker out of the water, and then there is this cycle has been repeating again and again. Mera microphone kharab ho gaya. Ek second.
If you want to leave that cycle behind, then essentially you have to create something that's beyond you. You have to create a community. You have to do the P2P engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, stream.
Is my microphone working? Is it fine?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this has been a great. Do you guys want to keep it going? We've been going for 1.5 hours, but it feels like we've been going for like one fucking.
This year I have a plan. My plan is, see, last year, for example, we did a lot of things. We did virtual production. We did the game thing. We released like a lot of things. We did digital Mayya and stuff, all taxing things, right? Like digital Mayya, for example, I was away for 1.5 months just building that because it's not, you can't like just put it out. And the thing is
digital Mayya, wo bata de fat se.
His avatar is digital Mayya.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, avatar. The thing that you posted on. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I actually fought it and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
So the thing is, this year it's going to be different. Like starting from last month, it's going to be different. This year I'm only going to focus on 2 things. One app, which we have, the Avalon community app, because we know that works. And number 2 is just growing distribution like anything on social media. Like this year, me and Shashank, like my co-founder, are going to get massive. And that's all we're going to focus on, like blindly. So I'm going to make friends with everyone. I'm going to be on every podcast. I'm going to be middle of everything. I'm going to productize myself.
Yeah.
Basically create that beginner, advanced and whatnot.
Speaking of productizing yourself, Varun, would you like to mention a bit about your app? Because now that you have mentioned that you're closing Discord for Avalon Meta tomorrow, right? So like where can people, if they want to, if any of them in the chat are interested or whoever is watching is interested?
Sure. I'm sure.
So look, Discord has challenges, right, with scale. And plus what we found is that actually there are many communities inside Avalon with many influencers that are doing well. For example, Avalon design, Avalon code, Avalon sales, whatever it is.
Right.
So what we're doing is we built an app called Avalon Voices. You guys can check it out at voices.avalonmeta. Yeah, voices.avalonmeta.com. Download the app, just sign in, choose a community that you like that's inside Avalon. We'll also get other influencers. Like if you guys have a Discord, right?
Yep.
Like how big is it?
Mine is dead. I don't use Discord.
Own servers?
Yeah, whatever, like community server.
I have like around 300.
Okay, do this. Bring it onto our app. And we're convincing like all the top guys to bring their communities onto our app.
No, what do you mean bring it onto the app?
So think about how you use Discord. Okay. One thing we found that's contrary to expectation on Discord is that the more channels you have, the less activity your Discord has.
Yeah.
Because people will not go to some 9th channel and type inside it. They'll just type on main chat, especially new guys. Again, you have to productize, right? You have to be simple for a new guy to also use it.
Right.
So we built an app that essentially solves that problem for us. Like it solved our challenges with scale. So now we're solving challenges for other creators. So now the app is not just about Avalon, it's Avalon plus friends of Avalon. So we are willing to give our distribution, our community, everything to specific people. So for example, if you guys have a Raven Okus channel, just giving an example, that would be there on our app. People can look for it. People will join that community. And whenever you guys decide to talk to your community, make them interact with each other, chat with each other, come on stage and talk, you can do all of that without any, janjat. It's on your phone. It will be available on web. So it solves the problem.
Wow.
So
we can create a new one in itself, right? Like, so
Yeah,
because
yeah.
mine is that I can just go like Instagram community पे story पे डाला like I'm doing this thing with Amazon Meta, come up and you can do that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that I had that issue with Discord because even
It's too
मेरी
tough.
जो मेरी community की जो लोग हैं
आवाज कट गई
यार।
बोल
तो मेरी जो डिफ़ॉल्ट कम्युनिटी के जो लोग थे सॉरी जो मेरी जनरल कम्युनिटी के लोग थे उनमें से कुछ लोग आ पा रहे थे, जो लोग रह पा रहे थे दे वर ऑलरेडी वेल equipped with Discord, and the people who were well equipped with Discord, the problem with that is like they were too equipped with Discord, so they created their own thing, so I was moved out of the picture then. And then there were multiple factors of me not caring, me being lazy, me being busy, and xyz.
Dude, and the thing is, the app is really cool in the sense that suppose you get on the app and you see that, say, a bigger some creator is doing a session on his group, you can just jump in onto his group and say, hey guys, how are you? Like, you can't do that on Discord.
Yeah.
Right? So for example, one day you could have Rav, Okus, Prakhar, like 5-6 other guys all on one chat just talking about some random shit in one of your rooms. It's like today I can't drop into, say, your channel, like you guys are doing a live, I can't just say, hey guys, can you take me on? I'll have to actually text you, you'll have to put me on Zoom, etc. So here you can suddenly like have a party on one of someone's channel, on someone's group,
like in real life.
Yeah, in real life. And it's no junket. You just pick up the app, you're like, who's talking right now? This guy, I know this guy, press the button, jump on. It's going to be, I'm building like a small city, you know? Some session is going on, you just jump and be like, hey guys, how are you? So,
Let's do something together. I'm
so you can do stuff on your own community, you can run that own community, and whenever your members or you want to jump into another community and just say hi, you can do that. So it's like a halls sort of system, you know.
So Voices is the app.
Yeah, it'll be out maybe tomorrow or day after.
Okay.
And
But
it's
not
new
on
social
Play
media.
Store.
Yeah, it's in early access for a few weeks until we're sure that we're ready to go prime time. After that, we'll bring on cool people, man. We'll bring on cricketers. We'll bring on Bollywood actors. Just so that hype comes in, and so that people are able to just jump on and see what it's like to be in the same room as, say, a Vivek Oberoi or something like that. Right. So it's like it's like a community version of Clubhouse, like where people can run their communities. On Clubhouse, you can run clubs which are not exactly communities, not owned by one person, and people are interacting with each other in the club. And we've got things like text and stuff, so it's a little bit different.
It especially works well when you're an influencer with these क्या कहते हैं apps, because not an influencer, content creator, क्योंकि जब हम लोग को देखते हैं ना, of course it follow क्या कहते हैं forms of for parasocial relationship, but also it's like, what would it be like to hang out with those, maybe like have a cup of coffee, a pint of beer, it works really well.
And Clubhouse kind of validated the concept. No, it's gone from $0 to $1 billion in like 1 year. Nobody's ever seen a company grow that fast.
It's crazy how I think, of course, Elon Musk and people like that had a huge part to play in it.
But Clubhouse struggles. Like, I'll tell you, Clubhouse is like a zoo. You go in, it's like some big name is talking, Bill Gates or Elon Musk or whatever. But the middle class is not supported really well, because middle class essentially thrives on communities. Right? Yeah. So Clubhouse doesn't have the concept of communities. It's not. So we are somewhere bang in the middle of Discord and Clubhouse. It has the drop-in features of Clubhouse, but it has the community and the structure of Discord.
And what age group are you planning to acquire through this?
18 to 26, something like that. For younger people.
Very interesting how you're. This is gonna be really fun. Like, this conversation has given me a lot of insight that have been, like, a lot of confirmation that had gone in my head. And I was having, before this podcast, I was having a lot of imposter syndrome. I texted Ra, like, "Bhai, bahut BT ho rahi hai yaar."
Yeah, the thing is, like, I always, even though like I have watched so many of Varun's videos, I always had this, I don't know, he always gave me this very intimidating vibe, because he has such plethora of knowledge in his head. I was like, man, it's so difficult. Like, I have to listen. Like, usually when I watch videos on YouTube, right, like I usually watch them since college days at 1.5 or 1.25, so I can quickly listen to whatever the person is saying. But whenever Varun starts speaking, like, Varun or Prakhar for that matter, like, you have to like slow it down to 1.2, and you're like, what, am I stupid? What is happening? I can't process what he's saying. I have to listen to him very carefully.
Yeah, you have to think.
Then that's on me. That's a problem with me, because then I'm not explaining things well enough. I should be going slower.
Maybe
maybe
I guess.
maybe like you said that it becomes a problem when you're talking about very complex things in the most diluted fashion, right? So
Yeah.
True.
if you are not enjoying what you're explaining,
Yeah.
then what's the point of having that conversation?
Yeah.
But that layering format, जो funnel double layer wala system, that is like that can work really well. Now that you have told me, because I
And
struggled with
YouTube
it.
allows you to do that, by the way. Now on
Yeah.
YouTube, you can have playlists that are actually from a different channel.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
You just use that format. It works so well.
Yeah, because the problem that I was facing was like, oh, I am this not fun loving, but like this quirky, stupid kind of person. But I'm also this person who likes to talk about, helping people, who likes to doing podcasts, who likes to talk about the stuff that we are talking about right now, the
Split
NFTs
personality.
and everything. Yeah.
Split personality.
Yeah,
I mean, now you need to split. I'm saying you have to split your personality.
Man, we shouldn't.
अपरिचित आगे ले भाई क्या scene? Sorry, I had to crack that joke. Yeah.
But yeah, this was great, Varun. Thank you so much for indulging us.
Awesome, man. It was
But
a
yeah, we will
pleasure
be
being
bringing
here.
you back again,
On
not
the
for a live stream,
podcast,
but
but yeah,
on the
podcast.
podcast for a recording. If you
Awesome.
I'm
man.
very interested
Would
in
love
that.
that.
Is this
I
the
didn't
Spotify
expect
one?
you. We do it on both video and
we do it on
audio both.
Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and other platforms as well.
Okay.
Google Podcast and everywhere. It's like literally everywhere. But I'm really looking forward to having you on it. Varun, where do you live before we end the podcast? Not where, like where do you reside?
It's a
I'm in Bangalore.
ओ भाई बैंगलोर भी जाना है मेरा भाई रहता है बैंगलोर एक्चुअली
You're doing a darshan
we want
of
to
India.
yeah we plan to yeah
Darshan of India.
I'd
Just
be
go
happy
to
to have
Mumbai.
Bangalore host you.
Sure,
that'd
sure.
be
That would be great.
pretty
That would be
fucking
great.
cool.
That would
We
be
are
great.
trying to do like ये मुंबई आएगा then we'll go to Delhi, we'll go to Hyderabad, we'll maybe hopefully now come to Bangalore. There are plenty of YouTubers even there that we want to interview. But yeah, it's gonna be really fun. But Rav, now that we have learned we have learned a lot. इसके बाद अच्छे से call पे बात करते हैं. But yeah, man, that has been it. Thank you so much for joining. I'll end the live stream now. Thank you so much, everybody. रुक जा मैं ऐसे हाँ. Thank you so much for everybody for joining this live stream. It was really lovely, and we'll try and put this on क्या कहते हैं Spotify so that you can listen to it because this is very interesting. But yeah, Varun, before we go, do you have anything you want to promote? Do you want to say anything? No, that's it.
No,
All right.
no. I enjoyed the chat. For me, it's about like having fun, and I had